What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is Christmas Day. Hope y'all having a Merry Christmas. I'm just gonna make a little video. I kind of talked about in the past couple videos what we was gonna do for the off season here. A few months there, we're trying to get ready for the next season. Some of the upgrades we're gonna do. Nothing in the engine. The engine is great, running good. Not really going to do nothing in that. So what we're concentrating on is all suspension pieces. We are concentrating on front suspension, rear suspension, rear end, stuff like that. Now it's time that we've got more power in what the car can handle. We're finding out now some of the spots that are just is not going to work with the power we're trying to put down now. Maybe some of the 900 horsepower stuff, 1000 horsepower stuff, yes, but when you're pulling that just on naturally aspirated, and then you got a lot of nitrous behind it, it's just not going to work with that much more power. The car just can't handle it. So what we're doing, I'm gonna put in the video here some pictures of some of the parts we're doing. Maybe not necessarily the companies that you'll see some of the pictures. But we're going to do a Racecraft. That's the picture you're going to see. You'll see a Racecraft K-Member kit. We're going all Racecraft front suspension on this thing. We'll keep the AFCO double adjustable struts. And the AFCO springs, we're going to keep those. We might have to go up to a 14-inch spring just for the simple fact that it's going to drop the car 2 inches by going to the ultralight spindles. So that might change from a 12 to a 14, keeping the same pressures around, pretty close to the same pressures anyway. So that's gonna be the front. All right, so then we'll veer into the cage. I'm gonna probably add some more to the cage as far as finishing out the funny car cage around me, adding a couple of more bars, for the safety aspects of the car, and then once we get that, then we're going to veer to the back. Now here's where we're going to do some changes. Right now, I have stock frame rails from front to rear. I mean, there is no cut with a back half kit with mini tubs. It's not. I do have mini tubs, but I've only cut out the material to the factory frame rail to get some more tire clearance under it. So what we're going to do, we're going to actually cut into the frame. You're still going to have the frame. It's still going to be there, but we're cutting into it to give me another 3 inches of clearance inside. I've got, right now, if you look under the car, and you'll see I have about 1.5 inches clearance on both sides. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut into the frame and box it back in to give us more clearance to put the tires inside, more up inside the fender well. And reason I'm going to that is because once I ordered some new axle tubing. I ordered 1/4 inch axle tubing thick. Then we're going to run them in. I can make this as wide as I want to now. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut out, take the mini tubs out. We're going to cut into the frame. We're going to square it to where I get another 2 to 3 inches more clearance. We're going to set the wheel in where we like it to be setting under it. And then we're going to come back and we're going to measure for the rear end. So I got two more pieces of tubing coming, so we can make them as long as and short as we want to. Then once we get that and get it set where we want it, then I'm going to come back and box everything in. I'm going to put some new tubs in and all that jazz. So that being said, once I take this rear end out and cut these tubes out and get all that cleaned out and all that stuff, I will replace it with new ladder bars. I'm cutting out the front cross member. We don't think it's completely square. We think it's out, and it might be some of the bend. So back up about 3 years ago, we went testing late November somewhere there. We went to Bontown, Missouri. We had radios on then. I had the 434, 23 headed 434 sheet metal manifold, 2 kits, all that stuff on it. So we went down there to test once we got some of the stuff in. It wheelied real bad. When it wheelied, it come down, it bent some of the front suspension pieces, it bent the rear end housing, it bent the tubes, actually bent the axle tubing, We think it also bent a piece of the ladder bar, and we think it bent the front ladder bar cross member. Because right now, when you go and look, one side of the ladder bar setup, as far as like the coilover shock mounts and all that stuff, I'm having to have that whole side 1 inch taller than the other side to make the car ride height even on the back. And actually it's still a little bit low on the passenger side, but we think there's some more bent pieces, so we're going to cut all that out. We're going to actually raise it up a little bit to where I have more adjustment in the ladder bar setup, and then we're going to install new ladder bars and new ladder bar brackets and coilover brackets. So the ladder bar brackets that I'm getting is actually a one-piece design. I think it's one piece. It looks like it in the picture, but it may be two pieces that you bolt together. But you're not having to weld two different pieces on. So it'll slide over the tube, and your coilover bracket and your ladder bar bracket is all on the same setup. So you're not having to weld the ladder bar bracket on, then try to measure for the coilover bracket. It'll all be square. It'll all be even. There won't be none of that missing it, because if you miss the alignment of the ladder bar bracket, you're also going to miss the alignment of the coilover shock bracket too. So we're going to do that. We're going to cut the top out. I'm going to take all the aluminum out of the back. We're going to cut the top of it out, the ladder bar or the coilover top cross member out, and we're going to re-weld it in. I'm going to add some more bars to that to stiffen that up some. So we're just pretty much kind of just going through the whole suspension. Like I said, we've done found that this motor and the power this thing can make, and we ain't even seen its full potential. Even on a good track, when we went to Springfield, I mean, we could have put more nitrous to it, put more timing to it. We still had low because we still wasn't really familiar with what it was going to do. We was trying to play it safe, and still went the fastest we've ever been. So, I mean, the power level is there to run with these guys. So we just got to work on the suspension. We've got to work on getting this thing to stay transferred, stay planted. Because we've been scratching our head at this Byhalia track. It's like we get down there, we can leave real good, fastest 60 foot time we've ever had it there. I tell you, we went 119 60 foot. You can shake your head. I mean, I have no reason. We went 121 at Springfield and went 119 at Byhalia. That's a very fast 60 foot for this car, but it won't stay planted. We start applying the power. The last race, we was like, okay, so we would spin at 400 feet. We was going to pull power out. When we pull power out, it shook the tires. So it's just, we're trying to get rid of all that. We're trying to get rid of either the tire shake from not enough power or the tire spin from too much power. I've got a window that's like this as far as trying to find power-wise, and I shouldn't have that small of a window. I should be able to go out here and put the power that I want down, and the suspension and the stuff should take most of it for what we're putting out. Because, I mean, Springfield was a no-prep deal. It was still a little sketchy at Big End, but we went down it. So there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to go down Byhalia or any of these other Dyersburg tracks or anything like that, which we hadn't made a test any on Dyersburg, but still, Byhalia is a medium track. It's got a really good takeoff, and it's got a crappy mid to upper end. So we're getting beat there, guys. We got beat there twice. We've actually been ahead both times we've gotten beat there this year. Been ahead, and we spun, which is last race we shook the tires, and then it went in a tire spin after the shaking the tires. So the last race it never tire shook. It hooked in about 400 feet. It just broke loose and spun the tires. This time we was about 150 feet, 200 feet. Then it took the tire shaking and it spun the tires. So we're trying to get rid of all that. We was going to go in and change transmission gear ratio, but I want to change suspension first, see how it does. Then we can go in and start doing transmission gear ratio, rear end gear ratio, little things like that. Maybe send the converter back. I think the converter's just still a little too tight for what we're doing, because I still can't leave on a lot of power, but why would at 119, 120, 121, 60 foots, I don't really see a reason to try to add much more power, because it's leaving good, and I want to guess some of these other cars have probably got a 125 60 foot, 123 60 foot. So we're a little better than them. Even if we can stay in the ballpark of these guys, The turbo cars are going to be a harder to deal because they got some really big power. We got a 60 foot, so that's why I like the 119, 120, 60 foots we can do on these no prep surfaces and get out there and get ahead of them right off the bat and let them try to play catch up. Let them hit that scramble button, see how much their the road can take from their car. So that's what we're going to do. Like I said, ladder bar set up. We're going to change the rear shocks. I got single adjustable QA ones in the back right now. That's not working. We can't do any adjustments. If I loosen it to get it to where it'll leave, then it tire shakes. If I tighten it to get it to where it won't tire shake, it spins. So I got to get that all situated. I got to get all that, taken care of, because without the suspension, I don't care how much power you got. If you got 600, you got 2,000. You got to be able to put it down. So that's our dilemma now. We've got the power. Now we just got to we got to work on the suspension to get this thing to stay planted. Not necessarily planted to leave, because what's leaving good, just staying planted, staying transferred, staying all that. A lot of it is tire shake, spin, bumps because the suspension was too tight in the back. It's just one after another. Because like I said, we had 125-pound rear springs and we had 225-pound front springs. But now we have 95-pound rear springs and we got 125-pound front springs. So we're going to try this out. It's Christmas Day. I wanted to do, and if you look, I got a short sleeve shirt on. It is 74 degrees out today, guys. I'm in here in Missouri, so 74 degrees is crazy for Christmas. And it's supposed to be 67 or so tomorrow. So we're going to make some test hits today, but I got so much stuff going on. Christmas dinner, and all that stuff. So to be able to actually go and do some testing, because I don't want to go out there in a one hit and then run. I want to stay out there for a little bit. I want to make a couple. I got 2 different tunes I want to try out. See if these springs what these springs are going to do. Swapping them out. Taking that much. We went a big swing. 125 to 95, 225 to 125. That's a big swing. We'll see if it's either. I don't want to do a little bit. I want to do it a whole bunch. See if that's the right direction to go in. So maybe we'll get this thing. We got some. We'll have some good, traveling stuff in the front now. It's actually set just a little bit lower. It used to set right where it used to set until I raised it a little bit. We might go back and raise it some. But we got these springs where they're really compressed, and good energy now to really extend when this thing leaves, kind of help it really get it and transfer it and stay transferred. So I'm going to show you the some of the parts and pieces. Like I said, we're going to redo all the suspension on it and go out for 2022 to see what we can do. We got a hot rod. We do have a fast hot rod with some of the numbers we've done run already. If I can mimic some of the runs from Springfield and put a little bit more power to it like we did at Springfield, we're going to have a really, really competitive car. So what we're going to do, and then maybe in the next year or so we can start on this 4th gen. Maybe big block, Pro Charge, I don't know, we'll see. We're talking and thinking and speaking with some people and to see about if that's we might do that. But anyway, y'all have a good Christmas. Y'all have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I might just wait and we do this video. I might post some of the test passes and stuff on it. But anyway, y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share these videos, comment, hit that bell, and I'll see y'all later.